Okay, so today, welcome you all. Hi Amrita, hi Suraksha, hi Soumya.
Hello,
Hi, good
Ashok.
afternoon, Ashok.
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
So,
Hi, good afternoon.
thank you for joining in, and the main purpose, like, no, why we have come together in today's call is like to share our perspective, share our learning with the candidates across India or maybe across the world, because we are dealing with this communication skill set, talking to the clients, meeting the managers, team leads, and what we have learned over a period of time that everybody talks about communication skills. It is important, very important. The carriers are made, and make and break kind of thing happens because of the communication skills, right? Because this is what we all have been doing. And thanks for joining in this, fireside chat virtually though. And what we will do is I will ask questions based on your own experiences, one by one to each one of you, and then you can share your own perspective. How do you see this communication skills domain? Okay, but before we start, it's a great idea to introduce yourself one by one. And for those who are watching the video, my name is Ashok. I'm the co-founder and CTO of PurpleSynapz Lab, and I take care of this technical delivery part and onboarding of the students. And I heavily depend on this team of communication skill set to make sure they give this the shining angle to, and all the students who have been onboarded with us, so that the finished product, the good sharp candidates ultimately able to reach to the prospective clients. So we can start with the introduction. Maybe Suraksha, you can introduce yourself first.
Yeah, once again, welcome all. So, my name is Suraksha, and I have over a decade of experience, and I'm an ex Air Force officer. So, right now, I'm associated with PurpleSynapz, where I'm managing the training and the delivery. And mostly, I'm associated with the technical as well as the communication part, which is mostly the underrated part of the candidates. So where we try to focus, and I have a team. My team consists of Amrita and Samia. So we are basically involved in upbringing or taking out the flaws or the gray areas, focusing on their gray areas. So this is all about short about me. So maybe
Okay,
Amrita can
great.
take over.
Hello.
Yeah,
Good
Amrita.
afternoon, everyone. I'm Amrita Sen, and I have got 12 years plus experience in teaching. I have also written articles in newspapers, so I have always been into communication. So then this year I have joined in 2022. I have joined Purple Synapse and I've been working here since, dealing with the children and mainly training them on the communication part. I'm
Awesome.
thoroughly enjoying my job and I hope everyone else is also benefiting from it.
Awesome. Thanks, Amrita. That is really wonderful. I didn't know that. Like, at least we have met so many times that you have written articles on newspapers. That was amazing. Okay. Awesome. Great. Soumya. Hi, Soumya. Is audible?
Hi,
Yeah.
yes, very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samia, and I come with a work experience of close to 10 years in HR operations and training. And I took a break of 8 years to support my husband in his entrepreneurial ambitions and motherhood. And during this break, I happened to be a part of a BPO, which used to take care of digitalizing the government records. And during this stint, I realized that communication is really very important to have a clarity and to speak about your ideas, your opinions. And well, having moved to Bangalore, a couple of years back, and having worked with Purple Synapse, I've got an opportunity, and I'm, being involved in improving the communication skills of the aspirants who are technically very well qualified. However, they do need assistance in expressing what they have learned in the training that is being imparted in PurpleSynapz, and it's really it's really very it gives immense pleasure to me that when we see that they get placed with the reputed organizations. So that's an achievement
Yes,
for
great.
them as well as for us. That's all about
Good.
me. Thank you.
Great, Soumya. Thank you so much for the introduction. And let's what we will do is as the agenda, what we really want to achieve in today's discussion is to share our perspective and how can we help the candidate, those who are looking to improve their communication skills, because a wide domain, lot of sometimes more information is confusing than less information, right? So once people don't have information is one thing, but when you throw a too much of data or too much of information, that creates much more confusion, and people do not know, or the candidate do not know which idea to follow, why it is important, first of all, right? So what I will do is I picked up some important questions which I based on my own experiences dealing with both sides, like the hiring side and also the student community, and I will be asking each one of you certain questions based on your area of interest, and how exactly you want to deal with that. So so Amrita, to you, the very first question, right? The very first question anybody who is watching this video is why this communication is important. What do you mean by communication, right? And in the corporate world, why this is so important? Why every company says, okay, technical knowledge is one side, your marks, academics is one side, but why communication? Would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Definitely. So, what I would like to begin with is communication is a process of exchanging ideas and sharing your thought process as well. Okay. So, it becomes extremely vital whenever it comes to problem solving, clarifying, explaining, as well as image building. And these are the features why communication has become so important in corporate life. When it comes to corporate life, communication has become very important because it has to be goal oriented. There has to be a focus. What is the purpose of my communication? Other than that, it becomes very difficult. You need to know where you should focus on. Okay. Communication will definitely become successful when it comes to corporate life, when it's clear, when it's candid, when it's credible, and when it's reliable. Okay. Whatever I speak or whatever I share with the rest of the world, or the client, or my team leaders, or with my peers, has to be very, very focused, to the point, and crisp. I will have to know whatever I want to share, as well as I should also know the way I should share it. Okay. So
Right.
these are the features which makes the corporate communication very, very important.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amrita. So basically what you said is you have a lot of knowledge, but unless you are able to communicate and share your knowledge to the other party, that actually becomes meaningless, right? Because the other party is sitting with you for 10-15 minutes, wants
10,
to
15
decide
minutes.
to hire you or not. But if you are not able to express well, you're finding it difficult. The other party will also find it difficult to have that confidence in you to give you or not to give you a offer letter, right?
Definitely. Yeah, we should
Okay.
have the raw materials ready. So accordingly, we can definitely prepare and tailor made. That
Okay.
confidence and that requirement is there.
Okay. Amazing. I think we lost Soumya. That's okay. So we can wait for her to join later on. We can continue our discussion. So
Yes.
the second question, Suraksha, to you, because I know you personally, and you have dealt with the corporate side. You meet people, you understand like know what companies are looking for, what kind of students have been hired, and you have been talking to many students. You also teach them, right? So based on your personal experience, Suraksha, working with candidates, how do you see this entire, the communication skills of candidate? What kind of student generally succeed uh, in your, past experience working with them?
So, as I would like to add on, continue from where Amrita left.
Yeah,
See,
sure.
yeah, so when we are talking right now, it's communication is a two-way process. So again, we are sharing our thoughts. So, and when we are sharing the thoughts have to be well articulated. It has to be crystal clear in the mind of the recipient. Similarly, when he is communicating, the problem where we feel and the candidates are facing is they know how to read, they know how to write. The problem is they do not know how to articulate their thought process. They know the answer. So the candidates who are good in communication, they know how to. I have to, when a question is being thrown on me, I have to write my point, speak on one, two, three, four. The person who is very, very clear in this point, they are the students who are generally succeeding. And in that communication process, even if technically they make one or two small mistakes, the interviewer or the other recipient is able to ignore that. He doesn't focuses on that. So your confidence, your well spoken thoughts, they play a major role when you are communicating not only to your peers, to your seniors, when you are hosting a meeting also.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So basically, those who are very fluent, right, or at least they are able to express well, articulate it well, are the ones you have seen them actually cracking the interview.
Yeah,
Correct.
I
It
would
need
like to.
not.
Yes, I
Yeah,
would
go ahead,
like
go
to.
ahead.
Yeah. Just one point I would. So we have because we have been training with so many students. So few of the students who we consider their documentation part is very good, excellent. Report writings
Right.
are excellent. However, at times they fumble in interview. And
Hmm.
after when we start asking what went wrong, they say, "Ma'am, we know everything, but we don't know how to express." So expressing is very, very important. Expressing your thoughts in well articulated manner is very, very important.
And that comes by practice, is what
That
you
comes
have
by
learned, right?
practice.
Definitely.
Correct. So that's brilliant. So as we move forward, we will also talk about how exactly they can overcome. So that thought Suraksha brings to the next question to Amrita, because she can definitely share her thoughts on that. So Amrita, what do you see the major challenges student face? Then you have seen people coming from small towns to cities, people who have studied in local language, completed their primary education. So you've seen all kind of these kind of stuff, right? So based on your experience, what are the major challenges and how exactly to overcome those problems, right?
See, basically, we have seen students go through a lot of challenges when it comes to speaking continuously. And, I'll not say continuously, I'll use the word fluently. Okay. First of all, they have this stage fear. Once they are from very small towns, or even if they are from cities, they have this fear of public speaking. Okay. Whenever they are
All right.
speaking to their own friends or peers, they are comfortable. Whenever it comes to cracking an interview or speaking to mentors in general, they have this tendency of speaking less, keeping quiet, or
Hmm.
rather they look for words. Okay, they become repetitive. They become repetitive. They also become very, very quiet, and they try to express themselves in very less words. Okay, these are the
Yeah.
issues which we have felt. Not only that, we have seen them using a lot of fillers. They give a lot of gaps also. Okay, they are in their mind, they're trying to frame the sentences as they speak. So these are the a few challenges we have seen that the students actually face when they come to our
Right.
sessions.
Right. And how do they overcome that? I mean, the
To
few
our
tips or few
sessions,
things which you want to share with our audience.
yes, see, the entire thing that can be handled, the very first thing that they have to do is practice. Get into the system in your minds. That is, you have to think in a particular language. If it's English, then you have to think in English. Start the entire procedure of thought in English. Start with very simple things, speaking with friends, speaking with peers, thinking about planning for the entire day. Then gradually you can start with thinking about the technical sessions, explaining, going through them, and then practicing while turning on the videos. They have their mobile phones, they have their laptops, so they can prepare and start speaking to themselves as well. Okay, so that itself give them a lots and lots of practice. However, we do ask the children to go through newspapers, and but we have to believe that this is again a one-sided way. Okay, you're going through the books. That happens when you are in schools and colleges. Maybe that is a good practice, but as far as my advice goes, always go to a both-way communication. Okay, where you have to reply, think, and then speak. As you're reading a book, you don't have, there is no one who is replying or asking you questions. But whenever you are in a communication session or in a workshop, you have to reply, think,
Right.
participate. That is what we are trying to
That
do
is
in
that is
Purple
really very
Synapse,
important,
making
Amrita. That's
them
very
work.
important point. Excellent. So this is, I think you have definitely nailed it down that most of the students think like no reading English literature will make them fluent, but that's not the case because unless you are having a two-way communication, somebody is asking the questions, you are replying back, right? You're participating in the discussion. Interviews are basically like that. Somebody is sitting
Yeah,
in front of you
that's the
asking you a question.
discussion.
You have to think and then you have to reply, correct? And you have to practice more
Frame,
of that.
organize, and speak.
Correct. So you said frame and then you
Organize
organize
and
and then
speak.
you speak. Awesome. Okay. So this is what has to be done. This is what we do in Purple Synapse. Soumya, you are back. Can you're there with us?
Yes, yes, Ashok, I'm there.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So next question, Soumya, you have joined at the right time. Was that, directed at you that what are the practices and procedures that we follow at Purple Synapse that helps students to improve their communication skills?
Okay, so talking about the practices, we first try to gauge as to where exactly, what is the level of the students, what is the level of communication amongst the students by, taking an assessment in their written English as well as their spoken English. So when I talk about spoken English, we try to give them very uh, a very common topic to speak, so that they can speak their thoughts to us. And in that process, we try to analyze as to how good they are, what kind of words are they using the right sentence construction, are they using a good vocabulary. And after that, we try to tell them as to where all areas they should improve, what is their scope of improvement. And also, side by side, we do tell them as to what were the positive things that they have, which they should maintain in their communication. And, once we have these workshops, at the same time, we also give them assignments so that, they are not only learning that in the session but also practicing that, so that it becomes habitual. And it becomes very natural, it comes as a natural process to them, once they start speaking and once they start implementing that feedback. So that is all the practices that we follow in
That's great.
Purpose
That's
Labs.
great, Soumya. So what I understand, your team generally evaluate the student and identify their level. At what level they are entering, because not all candidates are very weak or either they are very good, right? You first uh, create various groups out of all the candidates, and depending upon the weaknesses, some could be really good. Based on my experience, I have seen it, they speak really well but they have a mother tongue influence. you know
Absolutely.
Correct.
some
Correct.
also speak very confidently but they have these
That
grammatical
also is
challenges,
one of the factors.
correct? So you create that, and then the written communication plus their spoken communication, and accordingly you engage them into various discussions and try to improve it. So that's great. That's great, Soumya. So
And I should just want to
you
add
want to
on
add
one
anything?
more. Yes. Besides the communication, we also work on their presentation, the presentation
Yeah.
skills, as to how they will answer the questions. Or, if a topic is being given to them, how they should present that topic. So what are the key factors that they should keep in their mind? Their language, they should use short sentences. Their thought process should be crystal clear, and
Mhm.
that should reflect in their sentences also. So, just to give an example, if a presentation is being they're being given a topic to present, so how they should start. They should start with the introduction of the topic. Then comes what exactly the points they want to talk about. So it should not sound like a story. Rather, they should highlight the key points first, and then they should elaborate on those points. And then at the end, they should conclude their topic. So,
Okay.
we give them the examples, and that comes in between as just like a breather to them, so that it becomes interesting also, and at the same time, it's coming as a practice also with them.
Right. Right. So basically, what you're saying, there is a method to
Yes.
learn the communication skills. It's not hard. It is the method. If anybody can master that art of how to learn communication, everybody can improve their communication either 1 month, 6 months, or 9 months, or a maximum a year time. If they are serious about improving their skills, we have seen immense outcome based of this program, right? Based on the things what we are trying to achieve. That's really great. Thanks Soumya for sharing that. And now coming back to Suraksha. Suraksha, you tell me generally, like, no, because you deal with the students and you also receive the feedback from the companies, like, no, there are 10 students or 20 students applied for the interview, and so people having a poor communication skills. So what are the mistakes generally these candidates make, like, no, when it comes to communication skills? Either I have seen it, at least, like, no, they don't think it's important, right?
Yes.
And by the time they realize it is important, it's too late. Correct. This is one thing which I have seen. Maybe
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can share some more light on that. Yeah.
Yes. So I would, what you were saying, I will just continue with that. So this is the most underrated area where students have worked on in their college life. So they mostly focus on the technical part. They focus on the data rather than the presentation of the data. And that has been the key thing which they have learned in the college. And now when they are facing the real world, they don't have to write the data, they have to present the data. Now, when the question comes about presenting the data, the biggest challenge these students face is, how should I present the data? Am I presenting in the right way? And in that bargain, the stress they take when they are facing the interview, is my answer correct? Is the person who is judging me, will he select me? So he's not worried about presenting the data, he's more worried about being judged. And the biggest challenge what he faces when he's being judged is, am I speaking right? So he's not talking about, do I know the concept? He's thinking in his mind, am I speaking right? Is the answer what I'm saying is in the correct manner? So this is the challenge, and
So more of
this
a
clearly
conscious.
reflects. This clearly reflects their communication, the weakness in their verbal vocabulary. So what they face, they get rejected mostly not because of the, very few, yes, they do get rejected because of the technical lack of knowledge. Most of them get rejected because the remarks what we get, they are underconfident. They are not able to
Very
present,
important.
with underconfident. And when they are underconfident, because they don't know whether what they are speaking is right or wrong. So this is the biggest challenge the interviewers, the biggest remark interviewer is giving, and the biggest challenge the student is facing at this stage when he has to face the interview. So in during when we are taking the classes, when the technical classes are going, they hardly get a chance to speak. So this is the gray area which Amrita and Soumya and my team, we work. We give them a platform where they get a chance to speak and get their confidence. First, speak confidently. Then start delivering the, articulate your thought process, as I was telling earlier also. If you want to give some points, point them, make them a pointer. Try to give your answers in a pointer. It will become very easy for you to practice.
Brilliant, brilliant, Suraksha. So that is, yeah, that's a very important feedback, because, yeah, majority of them feel underconfident and they believe that they have been rejected because of the technical capability. But we know that it's not
It's
always,
not.
most of the time it is not technical, because you lack communication skills. So whatever you're not able to express, and the other side, the other party will think that if you cannot answer even the basic things, obviously you're not that great candidate. Correct? So it piles up. The how exactly you're trying to perform. That's brilliant. Thanks, Suresh. And you have seen it like in your own experience. People
Yes.
whom we believe like no, they're not that stuff, but still able to crack that interview.
Yes,
Plus
we
those we
have.
believe they are the best candidates and still fail multiple times,
Fail.
right?
Yeah. It comes as a shock to us also. And other way also happens. Some candidates who are not very technically sound. However, with their
Correct.
presentation, their communication, their verbal capability, they just crack the
They
interview.
clear the interviews. Yeah, yeah.
Correct. So good. Good. So that takes us to the next part. Like no, because we all work in cybersecurity. PurpleSynapz is into the cybersecurity domain. What we do now. Soumya, would you like to answer uh, that, especially in cybersecurity, right? No, where attack, defense, and things are like no, it has to be dealt in a different way. Correct. There are multiple other domains, but cybersecurity one among them, where communication becomes little more important, right? So, what are your thoughts on that? Like, no, why communication specifically in cybersecurity becomes little more important?
See, cyber, whenever we know that as of currently the environment where we all are staying, all the organizations have a biggest threat in cybersecurity. And the organizations, they need, not only they are mitigating the risk, but they're also ensuring that everything is very well protected. But still, there are times, there are situations where there is a breach or there is a cyber threat in their organizations. Now, in that particular situation, how does an organization prepare themselves to cascade that information to their employees? That is important. And all this thing happens only and only if the organization has a very well prepared, a robust plan in communication as to what is the strategy, as to how they will be cascading the information, what is their the thought as to they will be having their there won't be any interruption in the business. So in all these things, the communication plays a major role.
Absolutely. See, in cybersecurity, as you rightly said, like no, it's attack is going on. No, something is down. Like no, there is an the virus outbreak. Now, if you are not very proper, because you're dealing with multiple teams, you're not working in isolation. That okay, even if you take a little more time to express yourself and share the right data to the right people in a right manner, correct? That also
Absolutely.
equally becomes important when you're dealing with the OEMs or the vendors, plus dealing with your manager, plus colleague, and also to your
A
customers. Correct?
a simple information being saved. For example, a line manager has to cascade it to his or her team. So how soon and how clear and concise information he will be able to forward to his team, so that his teammates or team members are also aware of the same. So many organizations, they have this kind of an exercise, annual exercise, as to how quick the information gets cascaded.
Awesome.
So where if your communication skill is not up to that level, then you won't be able to meet the demands and meet the actual thing wherein the information needs to be cascaded to your team members. So communication plays a
Absolutely.
very important role.
Great, Soumya. Great. Absolutely. So what we will do now is, I think we are almost reaching the timeline now. And before we wind up, it is very important that those who are watching our video, then first of all, like you don't have to join our course to learn communication. What we are going to
Yes.
do is giving you tips. You listen to all the experts who have been training people for quite some time now, and they have also seen the success, and follow that in your practice. It's the communication is all about practice, and it takes time. It's not like a subject or a certification where there is a start and end and you put more effort and you will be able to do that, right? And that also depends upon the way you learn things. Some people takes time, It is absolutely okay because we have seen it people taking 9 months to 12 months of time to reach to certain level in communication. However, we have also seen people who can pick up things in 3 months time, right? But on an average, communication is one domain where it takes time because you have never spoken, English during your college time or school time, and also on day-to-day basis, right? And that is how there is a gap. It's not like you cannot communicate. So there is a some tips and tricks which our our mentors can share with them, which can help all the participants, like all the viewers who are watching this video, that can help them to improve their skill set, right? So uh, who wants to share first? Amrita, you, Suraksha, it's open question. Share your tips and tricks to the audience, that few three things basically which they can follow and improve their communication skills. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
let me take the lead in
Yeah,
that
Suraksha,
case.
go ahead.
Okay. So my advice will be, in a day, in 24 hours, when you are busy working, you always get 5 to 10 minutes to talk to yourself. So when you are talking to yourself, don't talk in any other language. Try to, your thought process should be, when you are talking to yourself also, it should be in the language which has to be the commonly used language. Talk to yourself in that and start thinking from that process. You can, we always say ki, look into your eyes, you are the best judge of yourself. So you can stand in front of the mirror, see yourself, see, can you talk for 5 minutes to yourself or not. The moment we try to achieve that target, we start getting comfortable talking to our peers, our juniors, our seniors, our friends, whomever we say. So try to practice this exercise. It will definitely help.
Great, Suraksha. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your tips. Amrita, you want
Yeah.
to share your tips?
Okay. My tips is very simple, and I consider myself a bit old school. I believe in the traditional system a lot. So, practice. I think practice will never go out of fashion, and it
Very
always
important.
stays with you. If you don't have a peer to talk to a neighbor. If you don't have a neighbor, talk to your siblings. If you have no one, then talk to yourself. Give yourself a situation. Maybe you are a superhero. Maybe you are a person who is leading a team. Think of yourself. Be confident and speak. It's not only that you have to stand in front of the mirror. Just switch on the phone, the camera of your phone or laptop, and you can speak. Give yourself a favorite topic. It doesn't have to be a technical topic always. Give yourself a favorite topic and earn that confidence in yourself. Definitely, you will see that words will slowly start coming. Ideas will slowly start flowing in. Okay, you have to believe in yourself and start with very simple thoughts, day to day thoughts, life stories, and things like that. The more you practice, the more you speak, you will definitely do good. There is no end, or there is no alternative to hard work.
Awesome. That's great. Great, Amrita. Thank you so much for sharing. That's important part. And then Soumya, would you like to add anything? You're on mute, I guess, Soumya. Can you unmute yourself? And
Yes,
yeah,
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Yes, so to add on to Amrita's point, yes, practice is really important. And at the same time, that person should, remove that thought from his mind that someone is judging him. The more and more initiative the person takes to come up in public and talk, the more comfortable he or she will become. Whenever the person say he's working in an organization or in a society itself, wherever he's getting an opportunity to speak, he should not hold himself. He should let it go. He should speak on whatever topic or whatever interesting thing he wants to talk to. He should just let it go, let the thoughts move on. Slowly and slowly, once that initiativeness comes into practice, the person will become comfortable, and then that natural method of speaking in English, the communication will come as a flow. Then the person doesn't have to think a lot before speaking. It will become a natural process. That's all that I
Okay,
want to add on.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Really great. So, so what I understood from all, three of you mentors, that the crux of improving the communication skills, all three of you have shared that, and Amrita has summarized it really well, that you have to talk. Communication is all about talking. Sitting in front of an interviewer, you have to talk. You don't have to write answer and show it to the interviewer on a paper, right? You have to speak. And the only way to improve is to speak. Speak, as Amrita was also saying, and Soumya and Suraksha also added to the point, and speak to someone, to your friends, your family members, your neighbors. If not, talk to yourself. You have a phone, open up the camera, talk, ask the question, give the answer, record it, listen to yourself, improve it, and that's the way you will be slowly, improving your communication skills and getting ready for the world to grab your first job in the the IT domain, or whatever domain you are trying to pursue. Correct. So with that great thought, its time has come to wind up this entire call. I thank you, my mentors, Suraksha and Amrita and Soumya, for sharing their thoughts. And soon we are going to, have another session where we'll try to address some of the other important aspects of our candidates or our students. Okay.
Thank,
I thank you for your time. You take care.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Ashok.
sir.
Bye
Thank you for
bye.
your
Bye.
time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.